Welcome to my new blog post 44, and in this blog post I'm going to discuss about organizational structure influence on projects. So let's start. So before jumping into the main topic, I really would like to discuss some concepts which are related to the organizational structure types. So first concept is basically we need to understand the functional organizational structure. So basically a functional organizational structure divides the organization into departments based on their function. For example, there is an engineering department, there is a finance department, there is a marketing department. Each is headed by a functional manager and employees are basically grouped together as per their role. Like there will be an engineering manager, then there will be engineering team. Then the functional managers have experience in the roles they actually supervise. This ensures that employees are using their skills effectively. It helps organizations in achieving their business objectives. So the next one is projectized based organizational structure. So in project organizations, all activities are basically managed through projects, and basically project managers are in charge and they have the complete authority over their resources. For example, a team may compose of engineers and financial analysts. All team members basically report to them. And basically in projectized based organizational structure, organization normally encourages its employees to share their lessons learned. At the same time, they allow others to learn and benefit from a shared corporate knowledge base. Basically, projectized based organizations have no functional manager, but still if they do have, their role will be very minimal. Moreover, they won't have any authority. So the projectized structure is basically totally opposite of the functional structure. Third one is matrix-based organizational structure, and the matrix organization is basically a combination of projectized and functional structure. So you can say that in matrix structure, the authority of functional manager basically flows towards downwards, and influence of the project manager flows horizontally. So that is why it is called matrix based organizational structure. Employees may actually report many managers in a matrix based organizational structure. For example, let us say that you are an engineer working in a functional department. Your organization gets a project and they need an engineer to assist the project manager. You may be assigned to project for a short period or be called you when whenever they will need your services. So you will have two bosses to report to. So basically matrix based organizational structure are decomposed into three forms. First one is strong, then there's a medium, and then there is a medium or balanced, and then there is a weak matrix based organizational structure. Now coming towards our main topic. Now I'm going to discuss about the influence of organizational structure on the projects. So basically, when we talk about influences over the influences of organizational structure, we need to discuss about the various project characteristics as well. So the characteristics that we have discussed in the past are basically, first one is work groups, like what kind of people will be working in. Then there is another project characteristics of how much the authority of the project manager would be. Then the role of project manager, how it will be defined. Then how what will be the power of like what kind of resource availability will be available, and then who manages the project budget, the finances, and then the project management staff, administrative staff. These are the project's characteristics. So there are various organizational structure types. Some of them I have discussed in the past slide, but the main are, but all of them are, first one is organic or simple. It's like organic or simple, it's just like a one-man company. Then there is a functional. It's more like a centralized system that we have discussed in the previous slide. Then there is a multi-divisional, which may replicate functions for each division with little centralization. Then there is a matrix strong. Then there is a matrix based organization, which has a weak which has a weak organizational structure type. Then there is a matrix balanced. Then there is a totally project oriented based organization. Then there is a virtual, like the organization is working like organization, all of the employees are working from home and communicating virtually. Then there is a hybrid, like the mixture of any of these uh, kind of like organizations type. Then there is a PMO. Now, now we have the project characteristics, and then we have vertically we have the organization type. So at the intersection of every organization type and the project characteristics, we will get an influence. So if I say that organic or simple organization type will have what kind of work influence on the work group, that would be flexible, people working side by side. Uh, and what kind of influence of organic or simple organizational structure type would be on the project manager's authority, that would be little or none. For project manager role, the influence would be part-time, may or may not be designated job role like a coordinator. For the resource availability, we will have later on known influence. Who actually manages the project budget, it would be owner or the operator. Then the project management administrative start would be little or no, none. Then for the functional, the influence would be being done, engineering, job being done, for example, engineering, manufacturing with respect to work groups. With respect to project manager authority, little or none. With respect to project manager role, part-time may or may not be designated job role like a coordinator. Then the resource availability would be little or none. Who manages the project budget, that would be functional manager. Then project management administrative start would be part-time. In case of multi-divisional, work groups would be one of product, production, processes, portfolio, program, geographic region, customer type. Authority of the project manager would be little or none. Project manager role would be part-time, may or may not be a designated job role like a coordinator. Resource availability will be little or none. Who manages the project budget? It would be functional manager. And project management administrative start would be part-time. In case of matrix strong, by job function with project manager as a function, will be for work groups. For project manager authority, it would be moderate to high. Project manager role would be full-time designated job role. Resource availability shall be moderate to high. And who manages the project budget would be project manager. Project management administrative staff would be full-time. In case of matrix weak, we have a job function, well-defined job function for the work group. Project manager authority would be low. Project manager role would be part-time, may or may not be designated job role like coordinator. Resource availability will be low. Who actually manages the project budget would be functional manager. And project management administrative staff would be part-time. In case of matrix balanced, we will have a job function for the work groups. Project manager authority would be low to moderate. Project manager role would be part-time, may or may not be designated job role like a coordinator. And the resource availability will be low to moderate. Who actually manages the project budget would be mixed. Project management administrative staff would be part-time. In case of pure project-oriented based organization, we will have work groups will be working on a project. Project manager authority will be high to almost total. For project manager role, it will be a full-time designated job role. Resource availability will be high to almost total. In case of who manages the project budget, it would be project manager, and the project management administrative staff will be full-time. In case of virtual environment, we need network structure with nodes at points of contact with other people for the work groups. Project manager authority will be low to moderate. Project manager role could be full-time or part-time. Resource availability will be low to moderate. Then who manages the project budget would be mixed. And then administrative staff could be full-time or part-time. In case of hybrid, we will have mix of other types as a work groups. Project manager authority would be mixed. Project manager role would be mixed. Resource availability would be mixed. And who manages the project budget would be mixed as well. Then project management administrative staff would be mixed as well. In case of PMO, we have mix of other types of work groups. Project manager authority would be high to almost total. Project manager role would be full-time designated job role. Resource availability will be high to almost total. Who manages the project budget would be project manager. Project management administrative staff would be full-time. So I hope so you have understood the influence of organizational structures on the projects. So coming towards our star question. So what is the PM authority level in strong matrix based organization? First one is moderate to high, high, low to moderate, low to high,